Everybody wants to get their business booming locally and globally, and Books to Boom Your Business brings to you authors, speakers, entrepreneurs who have powerful books that will make and keep your business and your personal lives booming. Welcome to the show, Books to Boom Your Business. Hello, and it's a great day in every way. I'm your host of Books to Boom Your Business, Dr. Lotus Riché. And today, oh my, have we got a powerful book here for you, and a superb author that's going to help you go from the pages to stages and help you to transform your book into speaking, influence, and income. And so as we get started, we want you to go ahead and use your phone. You may have one phone. Go ahead and use that phone. But I know some of you have more than one phone. You got two phones. And some of you that's really super duper productive, you got three phones. But whatever apparatus you're going to use today, you want to make sure that you use your iPad, your laptop, your cell phones, I don't know, a homing pigeon, but send the message out because we've got Dr. Lena Payton in the house with her amazing book today. And our topic is From Pages to Stages, Transforming Your Book into Speaking, Influence, and Income. And if you're ready to ignite and take flight in the speaking pages of your life, well, you want to make sure that you tag a friend and tell them to come on in. So while you're tagging people, let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Payton. Not only is she a celebrated speaker and a phenomenal author, she's also the CEO of her own corporation called Blue Impressions Publishing. Here it is right here. So if you haven't connected with her yet, go on over to her page and connect with her, because guess what? I'm going to pull out some secret sauce from her today. And so you definitely want to get lost in the sauce and get your biscuit and sop it on up, because she's going to help you expand your reach and raise your revenue. So with no further ado, the next voice I'm going to be bringing to you is the phenomenal Dr. Lena Payton. Please welcome Dr. Lena Payton-Webb, founder and CEO of Blue Impressions Publishing. She's in the house. Come on, Dr. Lena Payton-Webb. Woo-woo! How you doing?
I am well. How are you?
If I was any better, there'd be two of me telling two of you, whoop, whoop. I'm happy to have you here on the show. Great to see you.
You too. It's a pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. So to all of our amazing guests around the world, we welcome you to come on in, get in where you fit in, and let us know where you're streaming in from. Our amazing guest today, Dr. Payton-Webb, is going to talk about her phenomenal book. But as we get started, Doc, I would like you to tell people a bit more about you, your life, and your legacy, and what moved you into writing these amazing books that you're doing.
Oh, man. So first off, thank you again for having me. And that is a full loaded question, right? So just a little bit about me. My name is Dr. Lena Payton-Webb. I am originally from Detroit, Michigan. I currently live in Daphne, Alabama. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a grandmother of one amazing little boy. And I'm a certified graphic designer by trade of over 30 plus years, a digital artist, a therapeutic art coach, and words and art have always been my passion. But, you know, as we have it, passion is one thing, but a living is another thing. So I joined the military. I did that for 21 years, 11 months and 7 days, until the Lord said, enough of that. Now it's time for you to do the thing that I called you to do. And that was to be creative and use my gifts with words and art. And here we are as a publisher. So we've had our business for over 20 years. I've been a graphic designer again for over 30 years, but there came a time that God had to show me that I wasn't doing the thing that he wanted me to do. So he gave me this gift. Most people say, why do you call it a gift? And I call it a gift because it brought me to where I am now. He gave me the gift of cancer. And in that battle with cancer, I lost my ability to see. I was legally blind for a period of 4 years. So during that time period, I was unable to do the things that I knew that I was supposed to be doing, which was using my creativity. And once I recovered from that, using coloring books and journals and things like that, then, I would begin to make my own, because I didn't see the things that I needed in myself, when I was going through my test. So I used coloring books to help me retrain and refocus my eyes. And then God said, okay, well, now you get it. So start making things that look like you and sound like you and feel like you. And then I discovered that in that fight that, if I had the problem of finding books that looked like me, so would my clients. And their birth Blue Impressions Publishing. So we've been on this journey for several years, helping other people, authors, coaches, and consultants, creating books that deliver results for those that they are called to serve.
I absolutely love that story, but we're going to back up for a minute, because I heard you say that as a cancer survivor and as an armed forces veteran, originally from Detroit, you were also impacted by losing your sight.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought I heard you say for 4 years.
Yes.
That had to be one of the most trying times of your life, where your faith, not just in the Most High, but in yourself and in humanity, had to be like really trying. Can we talk about that for a quick second?
Yes. Oh, trying is probably an understatement. You talk about a period of darkness. So, the thing with cancer by itself, if that wasn't bad enough, right? Now, here it is. I wake up one day, and I wake up actually, and you know how you wake up and you feel like something just
it's not right.
Not right.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those days. So I woke up, and I'm blinking my eyes, and I couldn't see anything. So I'm blinking again and again, and still nothing. And then the nurse comes, and she calls the doctor, and everybody's around my, the bed. I could hear them and I could feel them, but I couldn't see them. But it was that moment that shattered me. It was that moment that was like, wow, made me question every decision I had ever made me question what life was going to look like for me, made me question if I was doing the things that I knew, the things that I should have been doing, and then made me question what life was going to look like for me. And at the time, I was still serving.
Whoa, wait a minute. You were still an active member in the military.
Yes.
Now, me being a Navy woman myself, I know the toughness that it takes just to serve, and you got all your faculties.
Yes.
But to have to serve and you don't have your sight, even though we know other things may be heightened, and we're going to talk about that. But to lose your sight, especially being in a position where you're in a position of leadership, a lot of times we lead by sight, not just by smell or touch or experience, but what we can see in front of us.
Yes.
Did that impact you as a woman in the military, leading people looking up to you for guidance? How did that impact you?
It was one of those things where God had to show me, like, just literally, it was him just sitting me down and saying enough, because first it was the cancer. And here I am laid up in the hospital, supposed to be, taking this treatment. And here I am in the hospital, literally walking around trying to do 2 miles because I didn't want to go back to the Army, not physically fit, because they don't want to hear that. Right. And then you're a woman, then you're a woman of color. Then I'm a military officer. They do not want to hear that you can't lead, from the front.
Yep.
So I'm steady trying to make sure I'm tip top shape and staying, so when I get out of here, I'm going to go back to, things as normal. Yeah. And I think that was just God. I know that was God's way of saying, no, you're going to listen. It was his way of sitting me down to make me listen to him.
Wow.
He's like, okay, I tried it this way. You still not listening, little girl. You're not listening, little girl. So let me show you. And so when I woke up that morning, he showed me.
Wow.
So, yes.
Wow. I'm gonna say this because I was just in the humanitarian leaders workshop that we're hosting from Nigeria, Africa. And in that, we had a speaker come up and was talking about sometimes we have to be silent.
Yes.
We have to be silent, but not only, dare I say, we have to be still.
Mm.
And sometimes in the moment of the chaos of life, because, and I call it chaos of life because you got the horns beeping when you're driving to work. But before you even get out of your own house, you got to get up, especially those that have a family. You got to get everybody else straight, especially as a caregiver, because you are a parent, you are a mom, you are an aunt, you are a father, whomever, but you're providing care to your family. You got to get everybody straight. And then you got to get yourself straight to get out the door, or you got to get up 2 or 3 hours earlier than everybody else. You got to start your day for your moment of clarity and peace. And get yourself together, then get everybody else out the door. And then, oh my goodness, you get that one, bring, bring. Mommy, I left my lunch at home. Can you bring it? Then you got to, you're everything to everybody. But sometimes in the chaos of life, you just have to stop. And a lot of us won't stop.
No.
So sometimes the creator has to intervene and say, whoa, wait a minute. I need you to hear me.
Yes.
And the reason I'm pointing to my ears, my eyes, and my heart is because we hear from multiple dynamics, not just with our ears. So when you got this message and you heard and you were maneuvered into being still, how did that impact your life and impact your journey?
Yeah. So it impacted me in as you can imagine, in a lot of different ways. One, it was not that it felt like somebody did not just turned the light off around me, but it was like a light was turned off within me, right? So it made me depend on the Father, because that's all I had. I couldn't see anybody else. I was in so much pain. I had no choice but to listen, right? No choice, none. It was like it took him to take me on that journey, to put me in that position, like, okay, because you steady want to do what Lena wants to do. But I need you to do what I want you to do, what I need you to do. There's a bigger thing, a bigger call for you. I have a bigger task. Trust me, the army going to be all right. Right. They're going to be all right. So,
believe it.
Right. As soon as I was out of there, they replaced me, like with no heart, no second guessing. They're going to be all right. So enough of that. You served your country. You've done the thing, and that's okay. Now I have something bigger for you to serve. I have a bigger mission for you. But it took years for me to embrace that. It took years of recovery for me to recognize that that's the journey he was taking me on.
Right.
A lot of, soul searching, a lot of counseling, a lot of therapy, a lot of why, a lot of what next, and just a lot of questions.
Exactly.
And it was a whirlwind. It was a whirlwind.
And Dr. Lena, I want to say this too. And when I reached out to you because of your books and all the things that you're doing, I was like, that's my aunt's name. So I want to celebrate my aunt Lena Taylor on today's show. So it's like you were having to be pushed to recognize that you matter. In the military, for us, the mission comes first.
Always.
But you had to make yourself the mission because God made you the mission.
Right.
Whether you knew it or not, God made you the mission. And so I want to ask you this. What Pages to Stages is all about? Because you had the stage of having all your bodily functions, but then you were on the stage of cancer. You were on the stage of having no physical sight.
Exactly.
So mind you, no physical sight, because now you had to develop more of your spiritual and faith sight.
Yes.
Believe without believing. Honey, you know exactly what that means. Many of us say it, but we don't know what it means. So what did that mean? Believing beyond the physical sight. What did that mean to you?
Yeah. So for me, it was one of those things where I was, put into that position. Like you said, a lot of people we are brought up to believe, we believe because our parents instilled that in us, right? But until we are actually tested or actually go through a thing or go through a situation or a test or a journey or a period in life and have to live it, that it puts your faith to the test, like
Oh,
in real
yes.
time, And without it, I would not have made it. Without it, I wouldn't be here today. Without him, wouldn't be as accomplished as I am today. So I'm grateful for the journey, and I'm grateful for the gift, and I'm grateful for the experience that I had going through those tests. Because it's made me who I am today, as well as the business that we have. It's made us that more successful because of the journey. So yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. First of all, foremost, to be able to kind of be like Job. My grandmother, Miss Odessa Lee Oliver, she always fashioned herself after Job, and she would always say, of all, during the appointed times, she will just wait on the Lord all the days of her appointed time. So you had to wait.
Yes.
And you had to know that this was an appointed time, but believe that this was appointed time, because some people, they feel like this is it for me. There's nothing else. I can't do anything. They feel like they can't see, they can't walk. And I've been there. I've been to a place where I had to walk with a cane, or I had to walk with I had what do you call it?
Walker.
Not the cane, the walker. I had to get a walker, and I had to ask my coworkers, "Hey, pimp my walker out so I look cool while I'm walking." I would go to the doctor's office, and I would go up to the older folks, and I say, "Hey, you want to race?" Because yeah, I was doing this in the doctor's office, trying to race the older people, and a lot of them had cooler walkers and things than I did, but I had to find and create joy within my sorrow. And so you had to do that. So how did you, within that, create what you've created? You said, this isn't going to stop me. I'm still going to go on with my business. So how did you move from the pages to stages?
Yeah.
And tell us what that's all about.
Yeah. So we got into that process. Like, so when I was on they got, they, with all the testing, they called it testing and treatment. I called it more like torture. Can you imagine somebody just playing around in your eyes, trying to figure out if something's going to work? So they didn't know if I was ever going to be able to see again. Matter of fact, they had never, ever seen anything like what I had experienced. So they would just test and experiment on my eyes. And eventually they got it where I could see a mustard seed of light.
Oh,
and
wow.
I tell you,
with
that mustard seed, baby, I act like I had 20/20 vision. Do you hear me? So with that mustard seed and light, it brought some hope, right? But eventually they got it where I could see shapes and shadows. And all this time, I am still in the hospital. I wasn't at home. I was in the hospital for months. And then eventually with the shapes and shadows, I was like, okay, this may be working, but then it will digress. So it would go away and then it would come back. And it was just a journey. It was an ongoing journey. And then there was a day, my hospital volunteer, she came in my room just as happy as normal. And she's like, can I get you some water, a book, this coloring book? And I was like, let me get the water and let me get that coloring book. It was something of the hopes of being able to see the coloring book that brought joy to my spirit. So I took the coloring book and I would use that as a tool to help me retrain and refocus my eyes, just to try and possibly see the lines with this mustard seed of light I had. So with that, the coloring book had Barney, it had Big Bird, it had ABCs, it had all the stuff my little grandson should be using. Yes. But I would use that as a tool. And then later on, as my time went on, and I got to see a little better and better, I questioning myself, why am I walking around with this children's book? And the Lord said, clear as day, I've given you the gifts and the talents. Create your own. So I would then start make books that looked like me, that represented me, that had the vibe like me. And then some time would go on, and after I healed up more, then he would be like, now go out and help other people. So that's how the company came about, where we are now, servicing people to, help them reach the people that they need to reach in a unique way. Because, let's face it, our books they didn't look like us back then.
Exactly.
Right? So that's how it came about. And then we came to a point where we stopped doing everything else. I stopped doing graphics. I stopped doing all the other things and just focused in on my calling, which was to create books that deliver results for our clients. And it's been a rewarding journey ever since. So
I love that.
The business was doing good. I discovered that once my story wasn't just for me.
Right.
So I would do these things and have this bit, but nobody knew that I was legally blind for 4 years. I have people back home in Detroit when all this happened that didn't know and that was over 10 years ago. So it was a long journey. Like they didn't think that you were legally blind walking around. I was legally blind walking, driving, doing all the things because I was hard hit.
But you had that faith. You had that faith of a mustard seed. And it says that the faith of a mustard seed symbolizes the idea that even small amounts of genuine faith can lead to significant outcomes. And so not only were you helping significant outcomes to transpire in your life, you were also helping people to get laser focused, because you really talked about being laser focused. And it's interesting, and no pun intended, when we talk about sight and you not having physical sight, you had a spiritual sight that helped you get laser focused so that you could help other people that look like you, that feel probably some of the same ways that you felt, because they weren't seeing themselves on platforms globally that was saying and teaching people about their message, their livelihood, and things like that. And so to all of you that are out there listening, I want you to share this broadcast out, share this around the world, share this broadcast out. And I want you to make sure that you go to her page, and we're going to bring her page up for you as well, so that you can see the books that she has blessed the world with. Okay. And so these books aren't just for women, they are also for men. So to our brothers out there, make sure you go to her site and connect with her, and you can see, and I see folks from Passaic, New Jersey streaming in, Patterson, New Jersey, California, overseas Africa. I see you, and I see you. Hey, Stephanie, I see that you're sharing. So continue to share this out, because your books help to inspire, impact, and engage people. I absolutely love that. And as a person, our company, the Lotus Riché Ignites Corporation, we help people to write their books, to share their stories as well. And so I know how challenging it can be to help someone bring their story about when you have a story of your own and struggles of your own that you're dealing with. So I want to ask you this. How did you say, you know what? I am going to deal with what I'm dealing with, but I'm also going to continue to help people write their stories. How did you do that?
So for me, it came from a place of 10 years of not giving myself permission, right? 10 years of not realizing that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So it came from just 10 years of kind of like laying dormant and recovering from all of the ordeal. And then just giving my permission to be seen, to be heard, and to know that my message is needed by someone else. And so with the people that we help, the same thing for them. It's about helping the everyday person, leader, entrepreneur, visionary, take their stories or their expertise and use that as their purpose, as well as to increase their impact. So that's the biggest thing. Just being able to help other people, because somebody's waiting on us. Somebody, the things we went through, they're not for us to hold on to. Somebody's waiting on us. Somebody's waiting on our solutions. Somebody is waiting on us to help them get out of the situation that they're in. So, and just like you said, it's not that I lost my sight, but I never lost my vision. Right. And the same thing with those people who are currently going through a test. You may be in that season right now, but you won't stay there. So they need to hear from you. They need your expertise. They need your guidance to help them go to the next phase in their life.
I absolutely love it. And thank you. Stephanie says she shared that out. Thank you so much for sharing that out, because this is a powerful, powerful story and a powerful message within this story. And it's got to reach all of you out there that need to hear this, because you know what? I always believe this, and I share this with you when we talk. When we keep what God has given us to share, we are robbing the world. We're
Absolutely.
robbing the world of what they need to continue to thrive. Okay, what they need to continue to thrive will also help someone else. So when we help ourselves, as Dr. Yee said, we are helping others. It's really not about us. It's not about us at all, really. So I wanted to also ask you, um, when you were in the middle of all this, we talked about turning your story into a stage. So there are so many people that want to write a book or that have written a book and it's not gone anywhere, and they are striving to get that to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the first steps that someone could take when they know that they have a message within, but they're saying, Dr. Lotus, Dr. Payton, where do I start? What are
Yeah.
some of the first messages you would give them?
So the first thing I would ask them is why. Why do you want to share your story? Are you sharing it to help someone? Are you sharing it to help heal someone? Are you sharing it to monetize off of it? Because your why is really going to determine the direction you should go in, right? If you know your why, that will help you navigate the path you should go in. So once you know why you're doing it, figure out who the message is for. Oftentimes, a lot of people write books just to write a book. I wrote this book with not knowing who they were writing the book for or the message that they wanted to convey. And then a lot of us, we write from a place of hurt.
Yes.
And we don't offer any solutions. Right? So
That's true. That's true.
Right. So we don't want to write and just bleed all over people, tell them all the things that happened and, all those type of things. We want to be able to say what happened and how you made it through a thing.
Right.
Where you're at now, to help the next person. So those will probably be the first steps. Figure out why you want to write the book, figure out who you're talking to, and then figure out how you can help the person that is reading the book. What result can you help them with? What problem can you help them solve by reading your book or the story you're going to share? Those would be the first things I will offer to them. Well, ask them to start with.
All right. I absolutely think that those are some great concepts that you're sharing with people. So for those of you that just joined us, I want to introduce you to Dr. Payton-Webb. She's a person who is a military veteran. She is a person who was without physical sight and had to lean on her spiritual sight to help her navigate and keep her going. Now, many of you out there are veterans just like me. I know you watch my show all the time. I want you to send her some love because you all get it. You understand. And our family members, you get it. You understand what we have to go through every day, day in, day out, why we are fighting for the freedoms of people, not just in the United States, but all around the world. So can you imagine to have to do that without your sight? And out of New Jersey, Francisca Nunez says, yes, I'm in the process of writing, but sometimes I get writer's block. And so let's talk about that. What about when our writers get writer's block?
Yeah, so writer's block it's a real thing, right? It's a real thing. And sometimes writer's block may come because we're not clear on the person we're helping or the reader that's going to read the book, or maybe we don't know which way to lead them, in the writing process. And for most people, I would say, right, if you have a person to help you along that journey or get into an environment with other writers or authors or a good writing coach, or program to help you navigate that, that is probably the key thing to help you get through that. A lot of times writer block come from because we're not in the right environment, right? You tell somebody else, I'm writing this book, and they like, why? Right.
Right.
Or they discourage you or they don't understand it. Well, the book wasn't written for them. So if you go back to the
Exactly.
number one, the first things we talk about, who you're writing it for and why you're writing it. If they're
Exactly.
not on
I
that
love that.
list, then they should
Mhm.
they have no input or no guidance for you. So being in the right circles, it's like in school, you hang around the right crowds and that type of thing. You
Yep.
need
Mhm.
motivation, you need encouragement, because being an author is not easy.
That's true.
And I
I
tell,
concur.
yeah, it is not easy.
Mhm.
And I tell a lot of authors, your book is not for everybody. Your words are
Exactly.
not for everybody. Your book and your words are a gift.
Exactly.
They are a
Exactly.
gift. They are a gift. And just because that person to your left or your right, it does not resonate with them, guess what? They weren't the ones it was written for. So find the people who
Mhm.
need your book or need the message
Mhm.
in your book,
Mhm.
and connect with them. And that'll make that writer's block move a little faster. So, and the other thing too is remembering the person on the other side,
Yes.
that potential reader who's going to read your book. If you keep in mind that somebody's waiting on me to finish this book because they need my steps, they need my strategies, they need my help, you'll get through that book in no time because they're
Yep.
waiting on you.
And may I say also, when you write with those that you are purposed to write for,
Mm-hmm.
it will fuel you through your
Yes.
downtime. It will lift you up when you think you can't go on. That will add more fuel to your why to
Yes.
help you cross that finish line. Because a lot of times we think that no one cares. We think that no one knows some of the things that we go through. But there is an entity that knows what we're going through. So we're not going through it alone. But sometimes we feel physically alone. But just remember that people are waiting to hear the one thing that they may need in life, and that is your story.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
when you know that, and when you come from that mindset, as Dr. Payton said, you gonna get that energy. You're gonna get that fire.
Yes.
I always say ignite and take flight in every area of your life. You will ignite and take flight in the book writing area of your life. Because I gotta tell you, when I was writing my book, Harnessing Your Thoughts, Take the Reins, Control Your Life and Win, I gotta tell you, and I got the book somewhere. I'm gonna show you the book. #1 bestseller. Just came from London recently on my book tour. Got to speak at Oxford University. And Doc, I never imagined that I would be able to do it because I was writing this book when my mother was dying. And to your point, we got to go on. No
Yes.
matter what it feels like, no matter what it looks like, we got to go on. And so these blocks, as Miss Nunez out of New Jersey was talking about, these blocks, yes, they're going to show up. But like you said, you got to get in the right circle.
That's right.
You got to get into a writers club to help you and inspire you, along your journey. So I like that you shared that, because sometimes we think we're alone, but we're really not. And sometimes we just got to get in that right group, and get in that group that is going to ask us the critical questions. So to cause critical thinking, to ask us, what's going on with you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That can also ask us, hey, wait a minute, who you helping?
Yep.
Let me help you figure out who you helping, because when you get into the facet of who you helping, it's going to deal with that writer's block. It's
Yes.
going to give you more to write about.
Yep.
Okay.
You move
It's
right
going
on
to
through that block. It's not a block.
exactly, exactly. It's
It's
going
not
to
a
veil.
block.
Yep. And it's going to veil that audience. So who knows? You might connect with someone that might say, hey, listen, we want to have you at our event when you finish your book, or come
That's
to our
right.
event before you finish your book.
That's right.
Because a lot of times what we share with people is, don't shy away from the pre-sale.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a question that I wanted to ask you too. How did you, through all that you were going through, how did you manage to set yourself up for success? And what did you do to say, hey, this is the part of the thing that I love the most in my book?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of writing Pages to Stages?
Yeah. So for me, the favorite part is just knowing that it's not about me, right? So honestly, I'm an introverted person, and I know people probably looking on social media like, no, she not. But I promise you, I was always the kid. They would have to, like in church, I would lip sync because I didn't want to say nothing. Like for real. Like I was always hiding, just trying to lay low. That was just me. But in the space I'm in, I understand that it's not about me. And as soon as I recognize that the more I share my reasons why and my journey, right, the floodgates have opened up. Right. So it's not about me. It's about the call on my life to help other people, and the things that I went through. They're not about me either.
Exactly.
Right. So it's just unlocking those things that I've experienced and being able to share them with other people so that they'll know, it's okay for you to share your experiences too. And that, somebody's waiting on those as well. So those are the things that light me up. And just knowing that I have the ability to have the impact and to inspire other people, to help them, in their journey while we're on this side of heaven. So that is probably my favorite part. Just knowing that sharing with you will allow you to share with others.
Oh, I love that. Sharing with you will allow you to share with others. I absolutely love that. And I like that you also said that, and this is some secret sizzling sauce, and I know you guys hear this frequently from people. You hear that it's not about you. Well, guess what? Success leaves clues. It's not about you. Remember that. It's not about you. It's about the greater part of you.
That's right.
Because we're all connected spiritually to the body of the one God. And so when we realize that when we do something that we're purposed to do, we're not just helping ourselves, we're helping someone else that really needs us. And it could be someone that you may never meet in life.
That's right.
But they will know you, they will know about you, and they will believe in you.
Yeah.
And so, I just want to also say thank you to Candace Boykins, who create the migrant experience. And I know, Candace, you can actually speak to some of the things that our doctor is speaking here today. And of course, Miss Francesca Nunez and all of you, and Angela Elton, and all of you around the world, I want to thank you for coming in to the broadcast. So I want to invite you all to make sure you go to her website, and get her book that we're talking about today, From the Pages to Stages, because this book is not only designed to help you go from pages to creating your book and to celebrating your book, but it's also helping you to move your book and your message into action. And so I wanted to, if we may, talk a little bit about that, because oftentimes people don't move their book into action. So, Doctor, how can people move their book into action?
Ooh, I love that question. I love it. So to move your book into action, the first thing, it has to be made in to do that, right? So we talked a little bit earlier about people who write a book to just to explode their heart, like it's a diary, right?
Yes.
So it has to be made intentionally to create action. So when you're writing your book, you want to make sure your book is written to help someone, right? Not just to tell all the things, but to help, right? So we want to help. We want to tell a little bit, but we want to help. Some stuff we need to. It's a way to tell it without just bleeding all over the people. So when we're writing a book, we want to make sure that it is constructed in a way to help someone, and then to put into action. If your book is written to help someone, if you find the people who need the help that you offer, it will deliver them results.
Exactly. I love that. If you find the people, somebody put that in the chat. If you find the people, come on, y'all, say it with me. If you find the people that what? Come on, Doc. If you find the people that what?
Find the people that need your book. So if I write a book on, let's see what I got here. So I have a book here on like domestic violence. If I'm a domestic violence survivor and I write a book about domestic violence and the things that help me overcome that, the people who need my book are going to be where? They're going to be like me,
Exactly.
a version of me, or
Exactly.
that experience. So I need to find where they are. Where are the support groups? Where are the ministries?
Right.
Where are the women's group? Where, and it could be men too, right? Where are they? Those are the people I need to connect with to help them, not just because I want them to buy the book. I want to help them. This is the way we serve, and let me help you with the things that I've experienced or the things that I've used to help me overcome that experience. I'm not just trying to sell you a book. I'm trying to help you, right? So I'm trying to help you with some of the things that I use, some of the tools, some of the strategies, right? So that's probably one of the biggest ways to use your book to get into the right place.
And let me say this. I often tell people we're not selling you, we're offering you, because it's an offer. We're offering you to move from where you are to where you are going and where you need to be to achieve your greatest success, so that you again can help someone. So Doc, I want to talk to you about your books, okay? Because you have multiple books.
Yes.
You have a book called Voices of Change. So tell us a bit about the Voices of Change. And of course, you can purchase the book. And I'm gonna just click on it so y'all know how simple it is to get her book. You can get her book, The Voices of Change, right here. It's only $24.99. Come on, folks. Like my friends say, come on, don't be lazy, do the work, right? The Voices of Change. If you want to make change, you've got to listen to the voices, not just inside, but the voices that are also helping you, even from your ancestors, even from your mentors. You got to listen to those voices. So talk to us about the Voices of Change. What can people expect?
Let me tell you, the Voices of Change. So this book was done for an event we did in Ghana. Earlier this year, went to Ghana, got to speak, and oh man, got to create global impact in Ghana, and it was amazing. But the book is about perspectives on resilience, compassion, and innovation, leadership. So it's just a book full of all the things you could think of as far as inspiration and how to deal with challenges and setbacks. So that is what the Voices of Change is all about. So I'm not sure. I think on the website we have the Voices of Change. We have so many books.
And I'm going back because we got the LitCon.org magazine too.
Yes.
You got that?
Yeah, so we do author events around the country. We're headed to Dallas in June, and then we're in Philly in September. And so what we do is we put together these events where authors come, they get to tell their stories, they get to share their books with the community. The community comes out to get to hear them and buy their books. And those events are called LitCon. And so we have a magazine that features some of the authors in the magazine. So that is there as well.
So I'm gonna say this: if you ready to get lit, people say, if you want to get noticed, see Dr. Lotus. But if you want to get lit, come on and get lit on LitCon. Okay, you heard it from me. Get lit on LitCon. Okay, so we also have your other book called I Decide My Vibe, coloring book.
Yes. So I Decide My Vibe is the first coloring book I published with my new vision. Should I say it like that, right? So it was kind of like an attitude moment, right? So it was one of like, I'm not gonna let anybody tell me what I can and can't do, right? So people was telling me, just retire, just let the army take care of you. You done did your 20 years. You don't get to tell me to sit in the corner and be quiet. That's what they were telling me to do. Like, just let them take care of you. No, I get to decide. You don't get to decide that. So that's where I Decide My Vibe. The title came from. People tell me what to do or what life should look like for me after the military. So I made that coloring book, and the images in there are drawn by me with these here once blind eyes. So she will forever be my favorite coloring book, adult coloring book. So yeah.
And so, folks, I'm putting these books. You see it. Get her book, Voices of Change. Also, I'm sharing this with you. Get her book. All of her books. I'm listing them. Okay.
Oh, I see. Yep.
So make sure you get her books. Okay. Get her books. Get her books. I'm sharing it here. Let me see. Let me make sure you can see that one. Make sure you get that book, and make sure you get her coloring book. Okay. So before we go, I decide my vibe that you did with your new eyes, right?
Right.
It's a whole new thing for you, right? Why, some adults may say, well, I don't color. I love the color.
Right.
Why should they get this book? Because and let me say this. Then I'm move out the way. Because a lot of us have left the honesty, the love, and the innocence of our childhood behind.
Mm-hmm.
So how can they recapture some of that by getting this coloring book?
Ooh, let me tell you. So coloring, as a therapeutic art coach, coloring is probably one of the most therapeutic activities you can experience as an adult, right? We work with, think of some of the most challenging communities or people, children, right?
Yeah.
Veterans, right? So veterans, we are hardcore, you probably won't know what we really feeling, until you peel all the layers back.
Exactly right.
So I get the opportunity to work with both of those communities, and through coloring and art, I'm able to communicate with them without communicating with them, right? So they don't have to tell me what they're feeling, because I can determine it by what they're putting on their pages.
Right.
So certain colors have certain emotions ranked, connected to them, as well as feelings and personalities. Like, for example, they say the person that walks into, you ever have met a person that's always late? Like, you have to tell them to be there at 10 just so they'll be there by 12.
Yep.
That person, we call them the color yellow. They're like yellow. So colors have meaning. They have, like, you can determine a person's personality by different colors. And then a person that's like driven, like they just like, I'm gonna get this done. But if I got to do it by myself, and I don't care what you think, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we call them red. They red all day. And then we got our people that are like analytical, like everything has to be dressed right, all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Yes. They green. They green.
They green. All right, they green. I got to get my coloring book. So listen, Doc, I got to bring you back to the show. Because I want to get that book and I want to talk about that book, because a lot of people, like, they don't know their love language. They don't know their language. They don't know what color they show up as. So I would love to invite you back to the show to have you talk about that, because people don't know what they don't know until they're told, hey, did you know this? Right. So
you look blue, red now, look green. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So make sure you get her book, The Path to Financial Independence, another banger, because a lot of us are living from paycheck to paycheck. And some of us that are not living from paycheck to paycheck, we're living from moment to moment, where it can take a very impactful moment to change our financial future. So tell us a little bit about that.
So The Path to Financial Independence, this was actually one of our clients, Dr. Bertha Winston. She did a collaboration book. So, and this,
I know Dr. Bertha.
Yeah, Dr. Bertha. So this is her project. We published this for her, and she had all these different subject matter experts, come in and write chapters on her book. And she wanted another author, and she said, "Well, can you write a chapter?" I was like, "Dr. Bertha, I know how to spend some money. What you want me to write? You want me to tell them how to spend money?" She said, "Well, you use money in your business. You can tell them, write a chapter on that, like how you how you need to use money in your business and things like that." So I said, "Oh, I can do that, because if you ask me about some personal stuff, I'm gonna tell you where to get the sales and how to use your money to do that." So that's what we did with for her. So we did this book for her. And with our authors, for their collaboration book, when we do collaboration book, every author gets their own cover.
Yes.
So we're distinctive in that way. But it's a very impactful book that shows them strategies on how to eliminate debt, stay away from debt, and then if you have a business, how to establish credit within your business, from buying a home, real estate, all the good things. So it is a really good information-filled book.
All right. And the final book we're going to discuss today. Now, I know y'all was like, Dr. Lotus, you was giving it to us today. You always coming with good stuff. But goodness gracious, you didn't tell us Dr. Webb was in the house and got all these amazing life-changing books. These are books to boom your life and your business, just like we said. So let's talk about your book called Discover the Melanin Journey.
Yeah. So the Discover Melanin, like me, melanin, it's a journal. So it just has prompts for every day to help you just clear the noise, help you clear some of the things that may be in your mind, just to put it on paper and move on to the next day. Sometimes we hold on to things, we don't release them. Sometimes just releasing them is all we need to do to move on. For me, once I was able to overcome the some of my challenges with my eyesight, I used journaling to help me move some of the mental trauma that I had experienced through that whole ordeal. And
Right.
journaling was just one of those things. So this book has 60 prompts to help you, just simple prompts to help you just move on through life and day to day. So 60 prompts. And she's also drawn by me as well.
Awesome. And you know what's so interesting too, and I want to share with our viewers, did you know that melanin really plays a significant part in your energy, okay, in the conversion and the storage of energy, and it transforms light energy into chemical energy. And although its capacity decreases in cold and low light conditions, guess what? That melanin, I'm telling you, they are harvesting melanin. If you don't believe me, go look it up. They're harvesting melanin because of the energy, the powerful energy that it creates. So remember when you're reading this book that you are harvesting energy so that you can push through whatever obstacle that you have. And you could share a little bit of that along the way, because it is truly a discovery that you're making in that melanin journey. So wow, that's some powerful books. So I invite you all to make sure you go ahead and go to her website, grab her books. You will not be disappointed with these books that she has. And by the way, if you're an author, make sure you get the LitCon. Okay, make sure you get there. So with no further ado, I want to say thank you, Doc, for being here with us today. We have thoroughly enjoyed you. And for those of you that's just tuning in, let me tell you, you did not miss an amazing treat. Why? Because you're going to click the replay and hear everything that Dr. Lena Payton-Webb has to say. So for our final words of wisdom, Dr. Lena, would you share with folks more about your closing thoughts on why people should move from pages to stages and how they should carry on after they get through the pages, through the stages, and where they need to be going next?
Yes. So, pages to stages. Your pages they're not about you. Your pages are not for you. Surprisingly, I know you wrote the words. I know you wrote them. I know you did, but they're not for you. They're not even about you. You just happen to be a person playing a role in it. So they're not for you. So it's very important just to recognize that it's a bigger call, right? Someone is waiting on those words. Somebody's waiting to hear the story. So you have to get from behind the cover of the book and in front of some people, right? You have to remove yourself, right? And do that. If you don't like speaking, it's okay. I don't like it either. You don't like being in front, it's okay. I don't like it either. But somebody need to hear from you. You want to do that. You want to create impact. You want to be able to help people. And the only way to do that is for people to hear you, people to see you. And that won't happen if you stay in the covers of your book. So
absolutely love it. And so for those of you that's looking to escalate your business, escalate your life, escalate your mind, you got to come out of the covers. You can't stay where you've been for all this time. You got to do something different. And so if you're ready to do something different, make sure that you connect with Dr. Lena, because she's going to help you to ignite and take flight in the book area of your life. And so with no further ado, I also want to thank all of you that's going to be joining me later this week as I move over to our upcoming event. And I'll share this with you. I'll be the keynote speaker from Gloom to Bloom Time to fly, the spring brunch fundraiser to end unhealthy relationship patterns. And baby, let me tell you, when you come, you can get your ticket. You can scan that QR code. Go ahead and get your ticket today because it is going to be so impactful. I'm going to be talking about relationships inside of relationships, as we also talk about domestic violence, shining the light on domestic violence and helping people come out of the closet of silence into speaking their truth so that we can eradicate domestic violence, not just for women, but also for men, because women are not the only ones who suffer at the hands of other people. So with that being shared, I want to say thank you for those who've already bought a ticket. This is a fundraiser, and those who are about to get their ticket. And if you can't get a ticket, you can't be there, go ahead and make sure that you share a donation. You can scan the QR code and you can make a donation. But baby, when you come to the tower this weekend, we are going to ignite and take flight in the gloom to bloom area of your life. And so with no further ado, Dr. Lena Payton, we appreciate you. We congratulate you, and we look forward to many, many more things from you. So talk to everybody and tell everybody what you have coming up next, what event you're going to be at, and how they can connect with you.
Yes. So again, up next we have LeCon Dallas, which is going to take place June the 20th and 21st in Dallas, Texas, at a community college there. You can find the details on our website, as well as we'll be in Philadelphia at a college in Philadelphia in September as well. So we'll be there. And then I have a couple events coming up in the veteran community. So if you're a woman veteran, make sure you connect with me so we can get you some tickets and information on that as well in June. And then so my website is, you want to go to www.pagestопроfits.com, www.pagestопроfits.com, and there you'll get a free ebook that tells you, that's going to give you 7 steps on why you should increase your impact, your influence, and your income using your book. So it's going to give you the strategies and some tips and some amazing ideas as well. And you'll be able to connect with me on all social media outlets as well. So yep, so we have a lot of great things coming up, and I thank you so much, Dr. Lotus, for having me today. It's been an amazing experience.
You're awesome. And we will have some information here for you so that you can connect with her. We're not going to just drop you off. We're going to make sure that you get connected and you be protected as you do what you need to do to take care of you. And so until we see you again, be blessed. Don't stress. Always do your best as you ignite and take flight in the books to boom your business life. All right. So Doc, thank you so much again for being here. Make sure y'all connect and show some respect. And Doc, please make sure you share this with everybody. Don't forget, we're going to bring you back to talk about the financial aspect of what we talked about today with your amazing book. Okay. And so let me ask you this before you go. How can people get a signed copy of your book?
Oh, if they send me a message, I'll send them a copy.
All right. So make sure you send her a message and get your signed copy.
Yep.
So until we meet again, be blessed and don't stress. And we're looking for our outro to come up, and we're going to play it here shortly. But for all of you that's just joining us, who we have on the show, I'm going to show you right quick. Please welcome Dr. Lena Payton-Webb, founder and CEO of Blue Impressions Publishing. So we'll catch you next time. With no further ado, we're going to say God bless and good night to all of you. Have a great day. All right. Yeah, let me share this with you. Let's see if we can get this. We can get this going for y'all. Here we go. Here we go. Here it is, Doc. Thank you for watching the show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Ring that bell so you won't miss a thing. And we'll see you on the next episode of Books to Boom Your Business. If you want to be a guest on the show, please connect with us at lotus@lotusricheignitesyou.com. There we go. Books to Boom Your Business brings to you authors, speakers, entrepreneurs who have powerful books that will make and keep your business and your personal lives booming.